Where do you start if you want to build a collection of Frank Sinatra albums? Well, I'm sure Frank Sinatra needs no introduction from me. He was one of the greatest artists of the 20th century, an absolute master in interpreting the modern song. He released a mammoth 59 studio albums and an incredible 297 singles. So there's an awful lot of music out there from Frank Sinatra. I'm going to talk you through my collection and make some suggestions as to which ones you might like to listen to first. Now, there are different periods within Frank Sinatra's recording career. His very early days, there was kind of the golden middle era when he was recording with conductors and arrangers like Nelson Riddle. And then there was the later period when he was producing songs such as My Way. They're quite distinct in a way, and it depends on your own taste. For me, that middle period is when the music is of such great quality, backed by these fantastic arrangements and orchestras. Anyway, let's go in order through my collection. Now, in 1954, Frank Sinatra brought out two albums, both of them with the orchestra conducted by Nelson Riddle. And Nelson Riddle was a bit of a genius in bringing these songs to life. Many of them were from the Great American Songbook. So these were songs which had been written for stage musicals. Frank Sinatra took them out of the musicals and made them into individual or album tracks. And very good they are as well. Now, if you look at the back of this, you'll see that both those albums have been put together on this CD, which is called Swing Easy. So from Swing Easy, we've got songs like I'm Going to Sit Right Down and Write Myself a Letter. I'm sure you know that. Upbeat ones like Jeepers Creepers, Get Happy. So you get 8 tracks on there. And then on Swing Easy itself, you get some of the more classical ballads like My Funny Valentine and A Foggy Day, and the classic I Get a Kick Out of You. So some Gershwin songs coming in here, like They Can't Take That Away From Me as well. This is pretty exciting stuff, and this was pretty radical for its time. And you can imagine and understand how people responded to this and really wanted to hear more and more of Sinatra. Now, in 1955, Frank Sinatra brought out this album, In the Wee Small Hours. Look at this fantastic cover. Here's the bloke down on his luck. Nothing's running for him. He's just standing there under a lamppost, smoking a cigarette and looking pretty cool, isn't he? Now, this, I reckon, is one of the very earliest concept albums. This isn't just a thrown together collection of songs. These are all songs which have that kind of maudlin, melancholic feel, and they're beautifully delivered by Sinatra and arranged by Nelson Riddle. On the Capitol label here, this was Frank Sinatra's Capitol period. Let me just show you the back of this album as well. There's a rehearsal shot, a little bit of a write-up, and then some of the tracks. And I'll tell you what's on here. You've got the title track, you've got Mood Indigo, which is a Duke Ellington composition, and then there are various others, really sort of downbeat, reflective songs like Ill Wind by Harold Arlen and Cole Porter's What Is This Thing Called Love. So if you're looking for a record to, put on late at night, just relax, perhaps before going to bed, capturing that mood, this is a wonderful one to get. And if you can get this vinyl as well, isn't that a beautiful thing to possess? Now, 1956, still with Nelson Riddle, still on the Capitol label, comes this album, Songs for Swinging Lovers. Now, some people reckon that this is Sinatra's greatest collection of music. I'll leave it to you to think about that. This is a much more upbeat collection of songs compared with In the Wee Small Hours, but look at the sort of things that are going on this. You Make Me Feel So Young. Now, that's still a great song now. Tony Bennett, people like that are knocking that one out, or have been. Lots of very familiar songs on this. Pennies from Heaven. I've Got You Under My Skin. Now, that's one of my favourite ever Sinatra songs. Listen to the band on this, especially when they wind up in the second part of that song. Absolutely fantastic. We've got things like Making Whoopee on there, You're Getting to Be a Habit with Me, lots of great tracks. And again, if you think of starting a collection, or maybe you just want a few Sinatra albums, this is the golden period to go to. So the mid-1950s, capital Nelson Riddle. You can't go wrong with this. Now, in 1958, this collection, Come Fly With Me, came out from Sinatra. And this is a collection of travel songs. Now, this is still on the Capitol label, but he's now working with arranger and conductor Billy May. There are one or two Nelson Riddle tracks on here as well. You'll know some of these because the title track is Come Fly With Me, of course, which is a great one. You've got things like Autumn in New York, Moonlight in Vermont, April in Paris. So there's lots of songs there which relate to specific places. Again, a good collection. I suppose that you could say it's a concept album as well, although perhaps it's a collection drawn together rather than the Wee Small Hours, which was so sort of well polished as a group. But still a good listen. 1958, again, Frank Sinatra sings For Only the Lonely. Quite a sort of serious looking cover here, isn't it? Frank Sinatra almost as kind of the sad clown here. And he's in reflective mood on this one. Again, it's capital. Nelson Riddle is back as arranger and conductor. But these are much more sort of slowed down reflective songs. Things like Angel Eyes, which is a beautiful song if you know that one. Willow Weep For Me. Guess I'll Hang My Tears Out to Dry. He's down on his luck. And the great song, One for My Baby and One More from the Road. Of course, Tony Bennett sings that brilliantly as well. So if you're looking for, it's another kind of late night album, if you like, this one. Doesn't swing so much, but still greatly crafted songs. Now, in 1959, Sinatra issues No One Cares. Again, look at that picture. He's not having a good time, is he? He's all on his own in the bar there, things not going too well. This image sells, doesn't it? Perhaps because we can identify with it as well. This is still on Capitol. He's working now with Gordon Jenkins conducting the orchestra. This is an interesting collection. We've got songs like Stormy Weather, A Cottage for Sale, Here's That Rainy Day, I Can't Get Started. These are all songs about, life doesn't quite work out really well. I'll Never Smile Again Until I Smile With You, None But the Lonely Heart. The One I Love Belongs to Somebody Else. He's not, the romance isn't working here, is it? But again, down on his luck, and obviously that was a big seller. We're still in the golden period here. We're going into the 60s, but this one is Nice and Easy. Now, someone's looking a bit happier there, isn't he? This is going to be a kind of a bit more relaxed, mixed set of songs here, bit more upbeat. He's working still with Nelson Riddle. He's still on the Capitol label. What have we got on here? Things like How Deep Is the Ocean? I've Got a Crush on You. Great Gershwin song, You Go to My Head. Fools Rush In. Try a Little Tenderness, Embraceable You, another Gershwin classic. So that's another good collection. You get 14 songs on there. And this is still, that brilliant period of recording. 1961, he issues this collection, Come Swing With Me. And again, he's looking happier here on the cover. So that tells you something about the songs you're going to get. Still on Capitol, he's working here with Billy May and Nelson Riddle. And this is perhaps slightly lesser known songs on here. There's still a few that we know. Day by Day, we've got On the Sunny Side of the Street, that old Black Magic. I've heard that song before. Perhaps not drawing so much on the kind of Gershwin, Cole Porter songs there. Although there's a Roger and Hart song, Lover, on there. So still good quality music. Now, 1962 on Capitol, he starts working with somebody called Alex Stordahl, arranging and conducting these songs. And as you can say, it's taken a sort of slightly darker sort of mood to this one. So we've got things like September Song, which is a very reflective song. Again, about things not quite working out. These foolish things remind me of you. Again, the mood here is not one of success. As Time Goes By coming on, things like that. I'll Be Seeing You is a beautiful song. So perhaps just moving slightly away from that mood of the 50s into a more reflective one. Now, in 1962, Sinatra teamed up with Count Basie and his orchestra for the first of two CDs. This one, Sinatra Basie. Now, let me say, these are great recordings. They really swing. They really pack a punch. If you've got a good CD system, you'll enjoy listening to these. They're not terribly long. It's only about half an hour of music. We've got things like Pennies from Heaven, Love is a Tender Trap, Learning the Blues, Nice Work If You Can Get It, that's a Gershwin song, Going to Sit Right Down and Write Myself a Letter. These really go, so you'll enjoy listening to this. They repeated the relationship in 1964 with this one, It Might As Well Be Swing. Sinatra and Basie again, there's the back cover of them, some cheesy faces there. This one again swings, Fly Me to the Moon. What else we got? Hello Dolly, The Best Is Yet to Come, The Good Life. So these are great recordings, and again, if you're going to start a collection, you might want to just try one of these just to hear what Sinatra sounds like. Really exciting songs, exciting recordings. Now, the next one in my collection is in 1967 when Sinatra teamed up with the Brazilian composer Antonio Carlos Jobim, responsible, of course, for the great song The Girl from Ipanema. Now, this is the result. 10 songs here with very much that sort of Brazilian, South American rhythm to them. I think Sinatra really admired this type of song. The other ones on it, you've got things like Quiet Night of Quiet Stars, you've got Meditation, you've got How Insensitive. That's a beautiful song. And Sinatra's really reined back here. It's a very gentle voice, but I think you would enjoy listening to this. Maybe not the first one to get from Sinatra, but if you want to move on to sort of slightly different things that he was doing, this is a really good, slightly later period recording. Now, in 1971, Sinatra brought out Sinatra and Company. Now, this was kind of a mixture. There's some more tracks here with Antonio Carlos Jobim, and there are some other tracks which are just with the orchestra. Now, at this stage, Sinatra is perhaps trying to cover some other popular songs. So you hear things like Leaving on a Jet Plane and Lady Day. And there are some sort of ones he's covering there, and also some original ones as well. One Note Samba, for instance, is one of the Brazilian songs. So see what you think to that. He's changing a bit here, and this is kind of moving into his later period. I haven't got so much from this time. So I'll just comment on one or two later things now. Now, this is an interesting CD that he brought out. It's Duets, which came out in 1993. Now, some interesting artists on here. Some may surprise you. Who did he work with? Well, he worked with Aretha Franklin, Barbara Streisand, Gloria Estefan, Tony Bennett, Natalie Cole, Charles Aznavour, Carly Simon, Liza Minnelli, Bono, and Kenny G, amongst some others. So he's taking his most famous songs like The Lady's a Tramp, like I've Got a Crush on You, New York, New York, but they work with other artists, and these are pretty good actually. This is quite an impressive album. So if you want something from his later period and you're interested in those songs being kind of reinterpreted, have a go at this one. There was a second one of these duets which I don't have. Now, I would also mention this collection, Sinatra's 80th. This was issued for his 80th birthday. It's a double disc retrospective. Some quite good early tracks on this, actually, from some of those capital years. Again, as a kind of just an overview of his work, this is actually pretty good. Now, just an oddity here. I've got an early collection of this one. These are very early recordings. Don't be fooled into buying too much of his very early stuff because the recording quality is not that great. But there are some vinyl collections out. The Frank Sinatra collection, this one, that's got lots of the good early hits on that one, and his portrait of Sinatra. This is a bit of a vinyl. This is a double disc one, lots of classics on there, including quite a few of his later recordings of things like Strangers in the Night, which is a much later one, Cycles, Softly as I Leave You, and Send in the Clowns. So if you're interested in some later songs as well, that's quite a good one to get. I will just mention this one up here. This is Sinatra. Now this is an early compilation. It's not down as an original album in a sense. It's a collection of his early recordings. 1956 there. Beautiful vinyl, as you can see. What have we got on here? Well, we've got I've got The World on a String, Three Coins in the Fountain, Love and Marriage, Learning the Blues. That's another really good collection. So I hope that's helped you. Let me know your favourite Frank Sinatra album or your favourite Frank Sinatra song below. If you're going to start, I would be looking for Capitol recordings of the mid to late 50s and early 60s. Some absolutely fantastic songs there, brilliantly arranged, and what a performer he was, much missed. Thanks for watching. Call me again if you wish to.